Kavi, welcome to the podcast. This is Soul Story with Hamza, and I always like give a little description about what the podcast is right at the beginning. So the reason we started Soul Story was just so that we could give a platform to healers to talk about themselves, their journey, bring their work out to the world. And we're on episode number 3 now of this new season, and it feels amazing, so much in alignment. And today we have you, so thank you so much. I think I'm doing this more from the perspective of like a new friend to me rather than a healer. Because little that I've got to know you, I feel like if I try and bring your personality out through the podcast, it will connect deeper with people than just the yoga that you do. So that's gonna be like my main idea through it. We usually start with like a little introduction that you can give as to where the story started, how did you reach Mumbai, what's the journey been like, and you can share it in your words, however you want to, and whichever parts you feel like need to be highlighted to an audience. Go for it.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm happy
Always.
to be here as a friend as well. So how did my journey start? Let's start with Mumbai. So I actually came back to India start of last year to do some more yoga teacher trainings and had a flight booked back from Dubai to London. And then I was like, why am I going back to London? It really didn't feel in alignment with me. For the last 7 years, I've been living in different countries. And I was just feeling stuck in England. I love adventure, I love new things, and I love getting out of my comfort zone. So when two of my cousins kind of prompted Mumbai to me, I was like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just cancel my ticket, booked a ticket to Bombay. Didn't know anyone in the city. I had barely even met my cousin. And within a few days, I was teaching my first class, and it just felt like it just kept happening so fast. So in flow with zero resistance, which was the opposite of how it felt in England for me.
Got it.
So I just stayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And let's focus a little bit on your yoga journey also. So, how did that come into being the first time you learned? How did you learn? How did you get into it? Yeah, how was life there? Because I know you shared a little bit about your life back in London and when you went to university. So, how's that been for you?
Yeah. So I think I tried yoga for the first time when I was 12. I just remember lying down as a starfish and it was fun. I think the first moment we all fall in love with yoga is when you're in Shavasana
Correct.
and you're lying down. You're like, whoa, this is exercise.
Yeah.
Sign me up. So the first time I did it properly, I fell asleep in Shavasana and it felt like such a safe space to be in. As a teenager, I think I was 14, 15 years old, attending every Tuesday evening. And I had gone to a school which was very gossipy. I mean, maybe high school is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like the most safe space. And yoga always felt a place I could just relax and not have to worry about, proving myself with education or looks or popularity, anything like that. It was just a place to be held.
Got it.
Yeah.
Amy said something very similar last time. So, she said she was in a community club, if I'm not wrong, or somewhere, and she went for the class and she was like, hey, like you're making me sign up to relax every week once, and like why won't I do it? And that's how it started for her. I feel like that's like a commonality.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, great. So can you like maybe tell me the point where you realized or were like, okay, yoga is it for me, I want to switch over from whatever else I'm doing and studying. I know you've like done your masters as well, right? So like why not that path and why yoga?
Okay, so I took 2 gap years after high school because I didn't really know what I wanted to study. And I also had this curiosity to learn about different cultures, different languages. And in my second gap year, I thought, I really want to go to India, learn about yoga, and also connect to my culture in my own way. So I did the training, got locked down in Rishikesh. And it was in my first class that I taught, which is the exam for the yoga training. I just had this moment where it just felt, the whole class was seamless. It felt so smooth. It felt so effortless for me that, when you have that alignment moment, we're like, yes, this is it. So I had that. And I was really young, but I just felt like this is something that I can do. And I think even as a child, like I would be in swimming pools teaching my mum aqua yoga or something random, or I was always like the older sister in my family, so always bossing people around. And now I get to do that
Yeah.
in a nice way, in a way that helps people to be kind to themselves.
Got it.
And yeah, just ever since then, I feel like I am maybe one of those stereotypical teachers, started being a teacher in lockdown, but people needed it because they had the time and they also needed that mental space to come back to themselves. So yeah, and then even when I went to university, I wanted to have the experience, and I'm grateful for what it's given me because it has sharpened me in many ways. But for me, it was always yoga is the main thing. Side hustle is uni. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Very interesting. And how's like your first ever class? Let's say the paid class that you did, where you signed up. Like, I don't know if it was a studio or a one-on-one session. How was that for you? Like, what did that feel like?
Oh, it felt so special. I did it in the garden. Like, it's such a special thing to give, actually. But when you give without any restrictions, you don't look at the time. You don't think about, okay, how much money is this making me? Of course, that's important and we need that. But when you're giving from a place of like purely from your heart, purely from your soul, and you really want to help someone, and then you can see that, you can feel the energy shift. And like when people open their eyes again, they look like they've just been reborn. And that feeling is priceless. So yeah.
Got it. So I want to understand when we talk about like the first thing that I saw, like when I came to your profile, it spoke about like trauma sensitive yoga. I've heard about yin, hatha, restorative, done some of them. But this was like the first time, I got to know. And that was also one of the reasons I was like, I want someone to talk more about this topic, and that's why we connected. So maybe you can take me down that road as to what it seems like, how do you do it, and what kind of people are signing up for like this kind of yoga? If you could maybe expand on that.
Sure. So some yoga classes, the teachers like to play with their power. And I know that's a very bold statement, but sometimes teachers go and adjust without thinking about how can this serve the student in the best way. But instead they think with their own ego and try to create the perfect position. This is not what it's about. Yoga is not about perfection in any way. It's not about being good at it. So that's one element of it, erasing your ego and just helping serve the student in the best way, giving variations, not modifications, not pushing, but just allowing them to maybe go slightly out of their comfort zone, but just bringing them into a space of honoring themselves fully. That's one element of it. And then the other element is really helping to regulate the nervous system. So I did a course specifically on this, all the science behind how we get into our parasympathetic nervous system and how that is impacted so much by traumatic events. And this kind of all started from a traumatic experience that I went through myself, which I've spoken about online before. And in a yoga space specifically, teachers they thought with their ego a bit too much and were more excited about the shapes that the women were in, less about honoring the authenticity of the practice and how loving and genuine it is. So yeah, I always from that moment decided if I'm going to teach yoga, it has to be in a way that is safe, that is respectful, and that actually serves the student, not me.
Wow, that's so powerful. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
Like
you.
that's amazing, going on this journey and setting this path. It's lovely to see someone doing that, because we all are born from some of the other situations that we face, and then we have the decision, should we change reality for ourselves or no? So that's amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, goosebumps. Okay, do you want to maybe share? So I had no idea about this as to how it came through. Maybe you want to dive a little bit more into this experience for yourself. So it also will make people, maybe beginners or I don't know, whoever goes for their yoga sessions, more aware about this element of it.
Yeah. So are you asking about my experience?
Yeah, your own experience.
As in the traumatic experience?
If you're comfortable sharing
Yeah,
about
sure. So it happened with a teacher in my yoga teacher training. He would tell me how he, really enjoyed the positions that women were in, for example, downward dog, and why he would love adjusting them.
Okay.
And that was one aspect of it. And then, I did unfortunately experience rape. So that was not a nice experience. But yeah, sorry for not giving a sexual assault trigger warning.
Yeah.
But it's only, like you said, it's we are born out of these experiences, and what it's done for me has made me way kinder as a human, way more compassionate, and I just want people to feel safe in a class, in any movement setting. And I think what happened in the last podcast that I did, we kind of highlighted how any kind of movement-based teacher or even healer, they need to have that sensitivity, because we're not therapists, but you still need to be aware that it's not about people having different bodies. It's about people having different life experiences. And that is something we have to be sensitive and aware about. And again, erase our ego. Think about the other person.
More power to you, Kavi. And sorry you had to go through all of this, but I feel like, look at what it's brought to you now. So, wow. I do agree with that 100%. So during like our Tantra trainings also, this is a very important part that we are spoken to, and especially in a country like India where we do have these practices and people need to be aware about consent, boundaries, stuff like that. It's been a part and I've seen it firsthand myself. And I don't know if it's a guy-girl thing. I would not want to like dissect it there, but I do feel like every practice that you go into that is movement-driven, or where there's any kind of contact, you have to be so mindful. Because I've come to realize that it happens in that one instance, let's say you cross a boundary or whatever, and it creates a very like triggering experience for someone, and that kind of affects their entire life. So I know so many people who I met there, who I spoke to later on, who are my friends today, girls. And when I always speak to them that, hey, are you considering going again for another festival somewhere else, right? Not even in India. And they always, I can see like they're confused about it, and they're not sure whether they should get on that journey or go again, or if they'll ever have to experience it again. So it's kind of very sad.
Yeah, it is a shame.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say like some ways that we can make it a safe space. Maybe you can also share how, because I know you said you went through an experience as well where at first people were not comfortable, and then one lady took over and made people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear about what she did. But for me as a teacher, I have little cues, and I'm sharing this so that hopefully it can help some other teachers and also students to know what is appropriate.
Yeah.
So for example, in child's pose or any kind of position, I'll say, give me a thumbs up if you feel comfortable being adjusted. So it's a subtle cue. You don't have to wave to me at the start of the class and feel like the odd one out for not putting your hand up, that you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So subtle cues, or having a card that says yes or no. You can just change it whenever you feel comfortable. And I also believe that as a teacher, you should be checking in each time that you adjust. Just because you've known a client for years doesn't mean that you can just touch them whenever you want. And it doesn't mean that throughout the class you can continue to adjust them. Some people may not feel comfortable being adjusted in downward dog, but they don't mind it in Shavasana. So check in. I think that's one of the best things we can do as teachers.
This really amazing trainer that I know, who used to actually train at my gym also, said one day, told me that, Hamza, a great trainer is someone who can teach you without actually touching you.
Yes.
And that was so powerful.
Absolutely.
And imagine if you can try that like in the gym, it's possible anywhere else. So yeah, amazing. Going back to that story, so it was again at a Tantra festival. I won't mention specifically which one. So what happened was there were a couple of people, not everyone's intention is the same when they come for a Tantra retreat, right? So there were these couple of people who must have come with other intentions of what they thought Tantra would be like, or in India, what they think it is like. Because I know some fantastic Tantra teachers in India, so I would not generalize it. It's a great place to do and practice it. So they came and they realized that the feedback that they were getting from the circle of people there was that these people aren't making me feel comfortable, and they're just like trying to find an opportunity and stuff like that. And they spoke about it to the facilitator. So there was one specific one who decided that, okay, maybe they need a refresher in this. They need to understand the basics. So she removed her own personal time out during the festival to take a session before our day begins in the retreat. Sit them down, explain to them and get it. And I do feel like that had a great impact on their life, because somewhere in their journey, they haven't learned that this is the right way to do it, right?
Yeah.
So she guided them in a very respectful way. Obviously, the ego came in a bit, and they felt bad about it. But I assume now the next time they go, they'll be a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful to see, those things. And that was the first time in my journey I've ever experienced something like that. When I went, it was my first Tantra experience. And then when I saw that happening, I was like, okay, there is something deeper. It's not just these exercises that we're doing, and it means more. There's a aspect of self-love in it also that a lot of people don't follow. So that way was very powerful, and kudos to her to whatever she did.
Yeah, good.
Great. So I wanted to ask you specifically, maybe to help people visualize if they ever have to come and do a session with you in the future from this podcast. Like, what does like an ideal session look like when you take your client through it, specifically to this entire aspect of trauma sensitive yoga? How does it look? How does it start? How does it end? If you could maybe just help us visualize that.
Sure. So every time we have a consultation call or a meeting just to kind of see where you're at, why do you need a teacher? Why do you need yoga? What are you going through physically? Because some people have, injuries or pain. Some people feel safe to share with me things they're going through in their life. I'm not a therapist, not licensed in that in any way, so I do make that clear. But sometimes people just really need a safe space to just share what they've been going through, and it is massively connected, the body and the mind. So it's kind of been going down this route with a couple of my private clients, that they first open up, share with me how they're feeling, what they're going through, and then we create a practice based around that. So that maybe we include more things like affirmations or tapping that are connected to the things they're going through. It's really a holistic practice. Like I'm tying in as much as I can give from my life, like even as simple as hair massaging, like massaging your scalp, or giving yourself a hug. It's a super loving practice, and I just try to show up for exactly what you need. So I'll ask you on the day, what do you need? Let's set an intention together. How are you feeling physically, mentally, energetically? I get you to kind of tune in with yourself. Sometimes I'll ask you, now based on those answers, tell me what you need. Do you want to move faster? Do you want to move slower? And from all of that understanding, I create a class. That's why I never plan my classes, because you are a different human every day, every minute. So my goal as a teacher is to adjust to that, lead with my intuition to get you closer to yours. And then afterwards we leave the class. Sometimes I ask how you're feeling. Other times I just let my ego be and just let you be in the silence, and maybe let me know later how you're feeling. But that's kind of how a class goes. It has all the traditional aspects of yoga, pranayama, meditation, asana practice, all the Yoga Nidra sometimes as well. I've started chanting in my classes a bit, which is a bit out of my comfort zone, but I really enjoy it. And some people have told me I have a good voice, so I'm trying. But overall, I would say it's a very holistic, loving practice.
Love it. It sounds so well integrated. Like I feel like it's so holistic, as you said.
Yeah.
This also takes me back to a conversation I had with a friend recently, who is a psychotherapist who was trying to integrate, when people do plant medicine and when stuff comes up later, the integration aspect is something that not a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Wherein you have specific sessions that you have to hold after people go through that journey, because everything doesn't come up immediately. It takes some time.
Yeah.
So it was very powerful what she shared with me about integration.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Let's move a little bit from the yoga to the business side of things. I have a couple of questions for you there, and I think you're doing some amazing work in Mumbai now that you're packed. The schedule is packed, and you have never any time to meet me.
No.
But I'm kidding. So what I want to ask you there is, let's say there is a new yoga. Like I see this people doing their TTCs very often, and now they're starting to get more aware, more people coming in for yoga sessions on the weekends from their busy schedules, which is amazing to see that they're taking care of themselves. So if you have someone who's just finished a TTC, let's say someone outside India, come back, he or she, and is looking to, get their first studio in or get their first private clients, and what do you think is the best approach to go with?
I would say, first of all, start with your network. Offer classes to your friends, to your family. Get some honest feedback as well. And they can be your comfort zone, but they also may not be, because you're showing up in a different role. So it's good to just get yourself out there first
Okay.
in your immediate circle. And then I would reach out to studios to see if you can cover classes. You need to get as much experience as possible. And I would say, don't just go and cover classes. First, attend the studios if you're not already. Because you're not, like, I wouldn't recommend approaching a random studio that you've never been to before, have no personal connection with, and then you want to offer a class. Why should they hire you? Right?
True.
You first need to understand, who are they as a brand? What kind of people do they bring in? How can you teach those types of people as well? So first, make sure you understand that and then approach them. But yeah, covering classes is a great way to start because it's not like this serious thing that people are committed to straight away. You just get to understand, who are you as a teacher? And you get to form that understanding, and which studios do you want to serve? Because, for example, in the Netherlands, I taught in some studios where they told me, oh, we don't do Om here, you're teaching too much Pranayama. These are huge parts of yoga, right? I don't need you to tell me that you're going to take this part of yoga. But
Why though?
not.
Sorry to cut you. Why?
So one studio said they want to take people out of their comfort zone by 5%, but not fully. So for me, that means, okay, you want to steal a practice, you want to culturally appropriate a bit of a practice, but not all of it. Okay.
But how do you measure that? Like 5% means what? Like how do you
Yeah, I
measure
don't
something
know.
in yoga?
They want to do the asana practice, but that's not what yoga is fully about. I mean, great, it gets you to show up to yourself,
Got it.
but it's a holistic practice, like we said. So I'm bringing this up because you need to understand who you are as a teacher. Do you want to serve
Very
studios like
important.
that?
Yeah.
For me, it's really important to be culturally authentic to the practice. And yeah, so you just keep understanding yourself as a teacher, and then you know where to place yourself too.
Got it. Very powerful. Someone asked you about the question of, on the poll that you put up about showing up. And I think that's a very big part of healing in this industry in general, yoga as well.
Yeah.
Showing up on Instagram, what are you comfortable posting about? What are you not comfortable posting about? How do you attract the right kind of audience for your sessions?
Yeah.
There are so many different levels to it. What has worked like the best for you?
I think just being myself and just keep putting the camera in front of you. And yeah, it may feel uncomfortable, it may feel inauthentic. At first, I had so much resistance because I was like, I don't want to be online.
Got it.
I want to be disconnected from that space and just be inside. But the thing is, this life, we are not in the mountains all the time. And, it's actually very, very helpful. Like, we met each other because of Instagram. So many opportunities have happened through Instagram. So utilize it. It's a free app. It's incredible. You can reach so many people and help so many more people than you can in your day to day. So try to show up again. Erase the ego. Do it for other people, not just for yourself. People love to know details about your life. They're nosy. So just give
Give
them
it to them.
something. Yeah. And people also like to understand that you're human. That you're not just, I'm not a saint all the time. Like, sometimes I go partying. Sometimes I even have a drink. Like, that's not the yogi way. But it's what makes me feel good. It's a self-loving practice for me. And I just want to show that I'm a human as well. I make mistakes sometimes. I have fun sometimes. I'm not constantly waking up. I never wake up at 4:30. Just keeping it real, because people want to come for you as a person. They're not just coming for the practice.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just show up, be yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. This last question of mine might backtrack a little bit to the middle portion of our podcast. It is like towards, now we've almost reached the end of this episode. But in terms of like what you've seen in Mumbai versus around the world, what are the differences that you see in yoga and your practices in general? You can talk about also people and their reception.
Yeah.
What works better here than outside? Maybe throw some reflection there.
Yeah. Okay. So super interesting. I've actually had a few clients here come up to me and be like, I just can't find a teacher who teaches in the Western way. And I'm like, well, what's the Western way? Because I'm trying to teach in the authentic way. But I realized what it is not someone shouting in your face, 1, 2, 3, stay in that position the whole time. They're not pushing you. They have this sensitivity,
Sorry about that.
Well, actually, like, you don't want to be shouted at. Like, it's not, you're not in school.
Got it. Yeah.
You
yeah.
know?
When you said that, someone came to my mind immediately. That's why I'm laughing.
I
But
think
yeah,
we all
got
have a
it,
few people
got
we
it,
can
got
think
it,
of.
got it.
But so I think that's one thing that places me differently here. I mean, I'm sure there are other teachers like that too. There are, for sure. But just having that softness and understanding, compassion, really meeting people where they're at. Again, I keep saying it about the ego, like really showing up for them. Now, in the West, the thing that I see that's different is that there's less pranayama, there's less chanting, because people do somehow associate that towards religion. And of course, elements of it are in Hinduism, like the Om, some of the mantras
Of course.
are, but it doesn't have to be a religious thing.
Yeah.
I don't see it as a religious thing. Yes, I feel like it's a divine, sacred practice, but I'm not pushing any kind of religion down anyone's throat with yoga. It's for everyone. Everyone who wants to show up for themselves. So that's kind of the difference I see in terms of teaching. At the end of the day, I feel like people just really need to be kinder to themselves. And that's a universal thing.
Absolutely. Agree 100% with everything you've said. Amazing. That's kind of the end of podcast. I think that was really short, but amazing. I think we got so much information in. When you're back in August, we'll do one more for sure.
Yay.
Maybe a little more practical. It can be like a masterclass. I had this idea of doing like a online masterclass for yoga teachers. Like we break each segment and do it a little longer. And then we can
let's
put it as
do
a
it.
series on YouTube. So that was the idea. But this was just to introduce you to them.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I want to compliment you on the fact that I don't think I told you this personally, but I meet a lot of healers on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people, forget healers, like a lot of people who say they're intentional with their work, but they aren't really intentional with their work. And I see that very distinctly for you in the way you talk about your clients, the way you talk about your work, also like your Instagram and stuff. Like you're doing it for a higher purpose for yourself. And I think that's the best way to live life. I'm trying to get there. I feel like somewhere the ego within me comes in place and is like, hey Hamza, this is the best way to go. This is the most profitable way to go for you. But I try not to do that, because when I operate on the level that I feel like you're operating at, it's always in alignment and I get the best kind of clients for myself. So I just wanted to like compliment you on that. And before we end, if you want to like just quickly share how people could connect with you, what are you offering, when are you going to be here next, how to collaborate with you, just however you want to speak to them, you can go for it.
Thank you so much.
Always.
I would say also, just to touch on that, like we do need to make money to survive in this world.
Correct.
And it can be a beautiful thing. It doesn't always have to be an egoistic thing either, because you're offering something wonderful. You should own that.
Yeah.
And if you're helping people, that is a beautiful intention in itself. And I think in the last year or so, I do really feel that alignment with God and like divinity. It's not necessarily connected to one religion, but I think like I just want to share with you and with other people, like how can you serve in the best way? Because that is the most beautiful thing that we can do. How can we give back in a way that really is not coming just from ourselves, but showing up? So one thing I do with my clients, when they're setting an intention, my intention is to give to them in the best way. And if I'm adjusting them in Shavasana, for example,
Yeah.
I'll also do a little prayer for them. So there's ways that we can make our work even more like impactful and meaningful. And then in terms of connecting, you can find me on Instagram, Yoga with Kavi. I post tips on there. I post things about my life and just try to keep it real. And I do online classes sometimes, but I'll be back in Bombay at the end of August. And
Got it.
you can definitely message me on Instagram or email to create something together. I'm doing workshops in person. I do private classes online and in person as well. And yeah, I'd love to work with people and brands that align with me and my vision too.
Yeah, I think it's just the beginning for you. Like all of that is going to come your way looking at how you're progressing.
Thank you.
So thank you once again for doing this with me and remaining all this time before you leave to get the podcast in. It's been a very short timeline with a lot of commitments, but it's been beautiful. For everyone else listening, this is Soul Story, and we're going to get, I think, another 7 episodes in by the end of this year. That's the plan. So I'm going to see you every month or once. Apart from that, there's this really amazing thing that I read recently about like every time as a human being, like when you need to build muscle, right? You have to tear it through to grow it. It was such a cool thing. And I had got so many reactions on it. So I said, I'll share it on the podcast. So it's the same thing with the mind and the spirit. Like you got to challenge yourself. You got to get outside your comfort zone in order to truly see your potential. So that's just my call out to like healers or other people out there who are looking to maybe just scale their businesses online, need some guidance. I'm also okay to do a lot of free sessions with you if you just need guidance and you don't want to work. But if you're very serious about it and want to take it to the next level, that's like just building your online systems in place, getting aligned clients, which is like the most important to me, getting high ticket clients so you're not stuck in one-on-one sessions. That's usually what I try and tell healers to do. So if that's a bigger calling, then I'll always request you to connect with me. You can do it on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, wherever we are. You can also shoot me an email. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm going to see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.